Hi class, in this video, let's start our discussion about survey research. The very first thing you need to be clear is that you want to use survey in your research only when you are interested in asking questions about a topic or an issue from large groups of a population. You, as a researcher, should by all means avoid influencing participants. The goal is to gather information from the respondents as they naturally exist without any intervention. This is very different from studies in which you have different treatment conditions and a control group. Survey research are widely used in social behavior and educational inquiries because survey instruments can be used to measure public attitudes, preferences, personal beliefs, opinions about social and political issues, as well as factual information. Survey research are getting more popular nowadays with the advancement of technology and easy access to electronic interfaces. We are having this course because there are a large number of survey studies in disciplines such as economics, political sciences, education, psychology, sociology, and its importance can be demonstrated by the fact that over 50% of published studies in major journals in sociology and psychology used surveys for data collection. Now, imagine that you are going to be in the driver's seat and lead a research project that will use surveys for data collection. What do you need to know? First, you need to have a well-defined topic for your survey study. You have a wide range to choose from. It could be anything from an evaluation of teaching quality, customer satisfaction, or how motivation to learn math is different between boys and girls. A clearly defined topic is needed for you to narrow down the research objectives and to formulate your research questions and hypotheses. The second step is to start a review of literature given the research objectives that you have. You can actually start the review of literature while you're deciding on the research goals in step 1 because the literature also informs you about the current developments in the field. This is a time-consuming step, but it serves as the critical foundation building of your study. You will learn from the theoretical and empirical resources in order to construct a comprehensive framework that supports your research objective, and the framework will in turn guide you to identify the important measures that you needed to answer the research questions. You will also be made aware that the same measure can be gathered from different perspectives. For example, to evaluate my teaching in the course, questions can be asked about satisfaction with the instructor, sufficiency of course materials, and appropriateness of assessment method. So in the survey study, it's important to make sure a concept is sufficiently measured from different perspectives. Also, alternative explanations are possible. For example, students who received better grades tend to provide more positive course evaluations. So you also need to collect information that may offer alternative explanations. During the third step, it's time to translate the information you would like to gather, or in a more technical term, the concepts you need to measure into well-structured survey questions. This step is called operationalization, and the considerations should be given to how to structure the questions as well as how to formulate the response categories. What you do here will have strong impact on the data analysis in later steps. Step 4 should take place simultaneously with step 3 because the data collection modes influence the structure of survey questions and response categories. For example, if data will be collected via interviews, indirect request consists of pre-request in the form of imperative or declarative sentences with embedded sentence, such as, Would you please explain why? Is used more often. And the flexibility to include follow-up questions is better. In self-administered survey, the response categories could be very different from the interviews. Note that the data collection mode should be decided based on your resources, such as time, funding, and concerns with the response rate. You should already have an idea about the target population at the time of defining your research objectives. So in step 5, it's time to define the target population so that a sampling frame can be determined. For example, if your research objective is about course evaluation in college, the potential population will be college students. In order to select samples and collect data, you may want to decide that your target population are all undergraduate students attending the University of Memphis. Step 6 is to select participant of your study from the target population. This is called sampling. Ideally, you want to have a random sample because it's a probability sampling approach that is better representative of the population. But in reality, non-probability sampling approaches such as convenient sampling, volunteers, snowball are more common. While you're defining the target population and selecting samples, you need to have a quality check of the survey instrument. It's labeled as step 7 of the process. There are different ways to carry out this quality check. It's highly recommended that you have a panel of experts checking face validity and content validity, and use a pilot group to get evidence about reliability and validity as well. If the survey is set up online, you'll also want to verify the routing of questions. Once the survey instrument is revised based on the quality check feedback and finalized for data collection, it's time to arrange the details and carry out the fieldwork in step 8. For example, how will you approach and recruit participants, obtain consent, and protect identity and sensitive information? Will you offer incentives? What is your plan to use follow-up reminders to increase response rates? After all the preparations, finally, it's time for data collection. One thing to remember though, the quality of your survey and the data depends on minimizing errors throughout the entire research process. Once the data collection is completed, the final steps are to analyze the data and report the findings. You need to be thoughtful about how to code the data for appropriate analysis, how to identify faulty responses, and how to handle missing data. Both descriptive analysis and inferential analysis are needed before you can write reports on the survey results. Just to make sure you're ready for a new semester, I already have an assignment for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to having a great semester in this course with you.